The Ant and the Grasshopper. A story about hard work and preparation. Summer had arrived in the meadows. The sun glowed gently in the sky, casting golden warmth over the grass, flowers, and tall trees that surrounded the forest. It was the kind of day that made everything feel alive. In a quiet corner of the field, under the shadow of a large oak tree, lived a colony of ants. They were small, black, and hardworking. Each ant had a job. Some gathered food, others built tunnels, and a few guarded the hill. One of the ants, a little fellow named Arlo, was especially diligent. He woke up early every morning, cleaned his feelers, and got straight to work. He had only one goal: to gather enough food to survive the long, cold winter that was sure to come. Arlo wasn't the strongest ant, nor the fastest, but he was focused. While others sometimes paused to rest, Arlo kept going. "Winter will come before we know it," he often said. "We must be ready." One afternoon, as Arlo was carrying a large grain of wheat across the field, he heard music. A cheerful tune floated through the air, light and playful. Curious, Arlo followed the sound and came upon a bright green grasshopper sitting on a daisy. He was tall and lean with long legs made for jumping. In his hands was a violin made from twigs and leaves. He strummed it with a blade of grass. His eyes closed in delight. "Hello there," the grasshopper said as he spotted Arlo. "Why don't you stop and rest? It's a beautiful day. Let's sing together." Arlo smiled politely. "I'd love to, but I can't. I'm gathering food for winter." The grasshopper laughed, a high-pitched sound like wind through reeds. "Winter? That's months away. There's plenty of time. You should enjoy the sun while it lasts." Arlo shrugged. "I'll enjoy the sun after I'm done working. When snow falls and food is gone, we'll be safe underground with enough to eat." The grasshopper waved a lazy hand. "You ants worry too much. Life is for living, not lifting." And with that, he burst into song again, twirling his violin and dancing across the field. Arlo shook his head, picked up his grain, and continued on. Weeks passed. Every day Arlo and the other ants worked. They carried seeds, crumbs, bits of fruit, and nuts back to the hill. Their tunnels grew deeper. Their storage rooms filled up. The grasshopper, on the other hand, played music, napped under flowers, and told stories to beetles and butterflies. Sometimes he saw Arlo trudging past with heavy loads. "Still working, little ant," he'd call out. "Why don't you relax? You'll wear yourself out." Arlo always gave the same answer. "Winter is coming." Autumn came. The air began to change. Mornings grew colder, and the wind had a sharper bite. Leaves turned yellow, orange, and red. Birds flew in flocks across the sky, leaving for warmer lands. The ants worked faster. Their legs ached, their backs hurt, but they didn't stop. Time was short now. The grasshopper still sang, but not as loudly. Food was harder to find. The tall grasses dried up. The flowers wilted. The insects that once clapped to his music were gone, hiding or sleeping. One evening, the grasshopper sat alone on a bare twig. He watched the ants marching one by one, disappearing into their hill. "I suppose they're almost done," he said to himself. He didn't feel like playing anymore. Then came winter. It arrived suddenly. The wind howled through the meadow, pushing snowflakes in every direction. The sky was gray, and the sun rarely showed its face. The ground was frozen solid. Inside their cozy tunnels, the ants were safe and warm. They shared stories, played games, and feasted on the food they had stored. Arlo, tired from months of work, finally rested. He felt proud. All his hard work had paid off. But outside things were very different. The grasshopper had no food. His violin string had snapped. The once lively fields were now white and silent. There were no flowers, no leaves, and no friends around. He searched under rocks. He dug in frozen soil. He even tried chewing bark. Nothing helped. His stomach growled. His legs were too cold to jump. One snowy morning, he made his way to the ant hill. He knocked softly at the entrance, too weak to speak loudly. Inside, Arlo heard the sound. He climbed to the surface and peeked out. There stood the grasshopper, shivering and thin. "Arlo," the grasshopper whispered. "I'm so sorry. I didn't listen. I thought I had more time. Now I have nothing." Arlo looked at him for a moment. Then he stepped aside. "Come in," Arlo said gently. "You can share our food for now. But when spring comes, you'll need to work like the rest of us." The grasshopper nodded. "I promise. I've learned my lesson." Spring returned. When the snow melted and green shoots peeked out from the soil, the ants opened their tunnels again. The sun returned and the birds sang new songs. This time, the grasshopper didn't waste a moment. He helped the ants gather food. He carried crumbs, dug tunnels, and worked beside Arlo every day. And every evening after the work was done, he played music for everyone in the colony. Even Arlo smiled and tapped his foot. Moral of the story: hard work today brings comfort tomorrow. Enjoy life, but never forget to prepare for the future. Even the smallest effort, done regularly, builds great results over time.